Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Coloring and Comments, a channel where I color in mandalas and talk to you about random topics that are on my mind. Have you ever thought whether you deserve achieving your dreams? Do you deserve that car? Do you deserve that house? Is that lifestyle really for you? I started thinking about this question after I listened to an episode of the To My Sister podcast, and I'll make sure that I link the episode in the description box. I was listening to the episode, and how I interpreted that episode is that words have power, and we always need to remember that the source of these words is very important. But more than anything, we also need to believe these words. We are so quick to have affirmations. We're so quick to say, I am wonderful, I am beautiful, I am A, B, and C. And don't get me wrong, I love affirmations. You've seen my shorts. But when we say these things, do we believe these words? Do we believe that we are wonderful? Do we believe that we are beautiful? Because if we don't believe the words that we are speaking, how then are we supposed to believe that these things will come to fruition? Words are like seeds. You sow them into the ground and you hope they bear fruit. And when you look at seeds, you know that a seed's chance of survival is better when you sow it in fertile ground. Because if you sow it in poor soil, the seed is going to struggle and you're probably not going to bear any fruit. So when you see an affirmation or when you see the word, if you're a Christian, where are you sowing your seed? Is it being sown in fertile ground, or are you randomly planting your seed in infertile soil and hoping for the best? So that podcast prompted me to start doing some reflecting. Because, with a new year comes new resolutions, and all of us are talking about how we are going to be new people. But how exactly are we going to achieve that? I ask that because so many of us have made the same resolution year after year because we continuously fail to achieve that resolution. I ask myself, in my personal capacity, why can't I be successful at the things that I pursue? Why can't I be successful at work? Why can't I be successful at writing? Why can't I be successful in this YouTube space? I realized that deep down, I think and I believe that I don't deserve these things. I don't deserve to be someone that flourishes at work. I don't deserve to be someone who is doing well and getting paid for the content they create. And this feeling of inadequacy and not deserving great things comes from that wounded inner child. If you know anything about the inner child, you know that it continuously needs work to heal the inner child and create that beautiful bond and relationship. If you don't know where to start, I'll also link my playlist on the inner child. But healing the inner child is important. And that's because it makes your mind and your heart fertile ground for you to sow the seeds, for you to sow your words. So after more reflecting, I realized that inner child's wound of inadequacy came from when I was in high school. I'm ashamed to say it, but the words spoken to me in high school stayed with me subconsciously. High school was something else, y'all. I don't know about y'all that enjoyed high school, but some of us, we did what we had to do to get in and to get out. Because I was that kid. I sat in the corner, I read my books, tried to mind my own business. I didn't do any sports, but I did debating, I did public speaking. I tried to make sure that academically I was performing. Socially, I was staying in my lane. I did not want trouble. I did everything that needed to be done to finish high school and at the same time to not ruffle any feathers. But for some reason, some people were irritated by this. They were irritated by the fact that I wasn't rebelling, experimenting, and being a wild teenager like teenagers should be. They would always tell me that, yeah, your life is perfect now, but when you get older, you'll want to rebel and things will fall apart. I kept that with me, that when I'm older, my life should be falling apart. So in the back of my mind, I keep wondering, when is the other shoe going to drop? Unfortunately, I have let that narrative subconsciously ruin how I perceive what I deserve. I have lived waiting for things to fall apart. Now, I'm ashamed to say it, but that's the reality. This way of living means that obviously I won't put the necessary work and effort into succeeding. I will not put in the effort required to make my channel a success. I will not put in the work required for me to get a promotion at work. I will continuously engage in self-sabotaging behavior, believing that I was destined to not succeed and destined to have my life fall apart. I see now that I need to change how I think and how I perceive my future in order for me to remove the seed that was planted by others so many years ago and start sowing the seeds that I believe should dictate who I am and dictate what I want to achieve in life. Doing this means that I have to engage in a process of removing limiting beliefs. I know a lot of people are very hesitant, or they think that overcoming limiting beliefs is having a mantra and continuously saying that mantra will remove that limiting belief. But like we said, what is a seed without fertile ground? How are you going to sow this mantra in a place that's riddled with limiting beliefs, that's riddled with weeds that will choke out that seed, meaning that it will never grow? Before you use that affirmation or grab that mantra, you need to uproot these limiting beliefs. So you might ask, okay, how do we do it? Because I'm always trying to come here and help y'all while at the same time helping myself. So how do we go about removing or uprooting limiting beliefs? First thing we need to do is we need to sit down and explore where this limiting belief comes from. A lot of us are very afraid to explore where these limiting beliefs come from because they come from a very painful and sensitive place in our minds, in our bodies, in our hearts. So it's often easier to just hope for the best and pray and believe that those limiting beliefs will disappear. But unfortunately, that's just not how things work. We have to sit with these limiting beliefs and explore what has and what currently is supporting this limiting belief. And the more you explore, the sooner you realize that evidence doesn't actually exist to support your limiting belief. There is no evidence to support the fact that my life will fall apart when I grow older simply because I didn't rebel in high school. So I'll take an example of a limiting belief that many people have of I am not going to be wealthy, or I'm not destined to be wealthy. And what is the evidence of this? And here I'm not talking about where you are in a socioeconomic environment that prevents that. Here I'm talking about where you are in a place where you can already create wealth? What is preventing you from creating this wealth? Often the times it's a lot of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage because the mind is such a beautiful thing, and it does this weird thing that when evidence does not exist to support a certain thing, it tries to create scenarios that will support that idea or that notion. So we know that limiting beliefs don't necessarily have evidence to uphold them. So what the mind does is it engages in self-sabotage to provide evidence for that limiting belief. So let me give you an example. So now your limiting belief is, oh, I can't create wealth. But you see that a lot of times, instead of saving your money, you are going out with friends for dinner, you are buying expensive clothes, you are purchasing way too many books. I'm speaking to myself. You are buying things you don't really need. And then at the end of the month, you think, oh, wow, I don't have money. And because I don't have money, I can't save. And because I can't save, I can't build wealth. No, you can be wealthy. I mean, you are wealthy already in comparison to a lot of people in the world. The only thing that's preventing you from getting to that place that you perceive as wealthy is your own self-sabotaging behavior. In my case, it's not a case that I can't be successful at work or grow in this YouTube community. It's the fact that I'm just not putting in the effort. Because the mind is like, why do I need to put in the effort if things are going to fall apart? Might as well just let it go. So I'm realizing that I need to start putting the work. I need to start paying attention during the 7 hours that I dedicate to my formal office job. I need to carve out time, and that means stop watching YouTube videos and start creating my own YouTube videos for the channel. Sitting down with these limiting beliefs makes you realize, like I said, that there's no evidence, and highlights to you your self-sabotaging behaviors that you're engaging in that are creating false evidence that support a belief that doesn't even exist. I know it sounds crazy, but like I said, the mind is a powerful thing. The second thing that you can do is you sit down with your limiting belief and you explore and find something you replace it with. Because we all know a vacant space will be filled by something if you don't put something there. So when you remove it, you want to replace it. Think to yourself, what is true, what is good, and what is just in my life? That is what I need to focus on. And there is where I'll find seeds to sow in my life. Ask yourself, what in your life currently exists that is good, that you're proud of? Something that you can see or something other people have pointed out to you. Something where tangible evidence exists outside of you. So objective evidence exists to support this thing. For example, I am a very organized person. Everybody in my family knows that I am very neat. I like things in certain places and it comes naturally to me. A lot of people think it's because I am trying to be pedantic or whatever, but I do that because I have a terrible memory, and if something's location changes, I will not find it. Being organized helps me find things, and if you don't believe me, there are times when I lose my phone. So I try to always put my phone at the same place in the house every day, because if it's not in that place, I tell you, it's me and Apple Watch looking for that phone. But you take this and you try to leverage it. So I'm taking this part of me that's well organized, and I have to then leverage it and see how can I make the best out of this gift that I already have. I know that, okay, things are not going to fall apart because that's a lie. So what can I organize or put in place and carve out time to replace that limiting belief? What I can do is create a schedule that carves out time for me to do what I need to do with regards to work. Carve out time to do what I need to do to grow the channel, which is either coloring, doing research, finding affirmations to support the new seed that you're going to plant. Basically, organizing my life to create time to grow myself in order to better equip myself. So find something that is good, find something that is true that you can use to replace that limiting belief. And by replacing that limiting belief with something that is true and something that is good, you plant your words in soil that is fertile. For as long as we don't confront, uproot, and replace our limiting beliefs, we stay stuck. We will remain asking ourselves, why can't I do that? Why can't I be there? What is preventing me from being A, B, or C? So for 2024, new year, new me, dedicate this year to uprooting your limiting beliefs and replacing them with things that you know are good and true. And from there, taking a word of love that represents that true thing, that good thing, and plant it within yourself, knowing that that thing will come to fruition because that seed comes from a place of truth. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, what are your limiting beliefs that you have discovered, and what are you doing to try and overcome these limiting beliefs? And if you're in a position where you have overcome your limiting beliefs, what have you identified or what have you replaced this limiting belief with, and how is it going? How is that journey to fruition going for you? Because we all know that when a seed starts growing, there's more work to be done to ensure that that seed and that sprout that comes out of the ground grows into a massive, strong tree. So thank you for listening. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. May your day be colorful and wonderful, and I'll see you in the next one.